I've been throw up the sex in and I can put you in.
Hi, we're Nick and Jeremy, also known as Narami. Our selected setting is teaching, as we both find teaching to be a large area of interest for this field. Digital society is also new and upcoming, since wearables and fitness apps seem to be trending, drastically affecting the fitness industry. Wearables can now track the amount of physical activity, exercise routines, and the amount of calories burned, making it a lot easier to meet or maintain your fitness goals. There are a ton of fitness apps available on Apple and Android to assist you in your goals as well, revolutionizing the way people exercise. We chose this topic because we both have personal experiences dealing with digital society and fitness apps.
In my personal experience, I am a wearable tech owner. I started with the Fitbit, the older model. I was fascinated by all of this new technology. I was able to track my sleeping patterns when I was light and when I was heavy sleep. I saw when I woke up and I saw when I went to bed. Seeing all of this was very fascinating. Additionally, I saw my fitness scores and was very intrigued by it. It became my external motivation to exercise and go to the gym and become a healthier person. It became a small addiction. I wore it everywhere, to bed, social events, the beach, and even to my sporting events such as soccer. Like all things, it eventually stops working, and now I am currently an owner of the Apple Watch Series 7. It can do a lot more things than the old Fitbit, obviously because technology evolved. It can track my blood oxygen, my heart rate constantly, and now I compete with my fellow peers and stay updated with their fitness scores and compare mine to theirs. This became an unhealthy habit and obsession for me, not listening to my body's needs, as I clearly needed recovery days, but I just kept exercising, ignoring my body's needs. I became vulnerable to sickness and eventually got sick for a week. I was overtraining. This is when I made a schedule for myself and gave me appropriate times to exercise and appropriate times to rest.
I haven't had any negative experiences with wearable technology, but I understand the issues that can arise with them. I've never owned a smartwatch or any wearable technology to aid with my physical training, but personally, I've only used fitness apps and calorie trackers, such as the MyFitnessPal app to track calories and Strava to track times and distances when running. I found these as useful tools to aid me in my health and fitness journey, but not something I got too addicted to or too attached to. The calorie tracking application I followed adamantly for a couple weeks, but only used it as a starting point along my nutritional journey and have since stopped using it. However, Strava I've continued to use to track my running progress. If I was to get a smartwatch, I feel it could positively affect my workout habits, but I would have some concerns regarding privacy to that information if I'm constantly using it all the time. And I would also have concerns with how addicted I might get to using the technology. In a 9-month-long study done on the embodiment of wearable technology, they used 43 participants from Amsterdam and gave them a smartwatch to use. Some participants had negative reactions to the daily recommended goals of 10,000 steps and 8 hours of sleep. Others had a difficult time adjusting to the use of technology, as they felt a high when they reached their step goals in the beginning, but that feeling started to fade away. However, some participants felt the adjustment and the step goals to be frustrating. As for wearability, participants felt it to be similar to that of a watch, so some found it comfortable, while others found it wearing it all the time to be a bit annoying. Some participants also expressed missing the smartwatch when they took it off. As for reliance on the watch, there were participants that relied on the technology for activity and sleep evaluation and found they could not know their sleep and activity without the device. One participant even referred to the watch as a mother because it always kept reminding them to be healthier. These behaviors are seen as increased dependence on the technology and can be compared to the dependence one feels towards their smartphones. After the study, most participants wanted to continue using their smartwatch.
In the article by Goodyear, Kerner, and Quenerstedt, they did a study on young adults and the use of wearable technology. Their findings were that young adults were more motivated to do exercise and physical activity, as there was now a way to track calories, steps, and in a way to compete with their fellow peers, to see who could do more in physical sense. After a couple weeks, the students did not stay engaged with the device. It promoted negative emotions and feelings. Lastly, the students found the device was not recording their physical activity accurately, possibly manipulated fitness scores by the students. Our takeaways from this was that society needs to understand that everyone is different, including their fitness levels. What one score means to one person can totally be different to another.
Participants found various levels of addiction rates to the technology in both articles, with some not staying engaged while others becoming increasingly more addicted to using it. It is important to know that how the usage of these technologies can seem to be not tailored to an individual rather than a generalization for a population, which gives a feeling of these step counts to be easy for some and frustrating for others. Otherwise, addiction rates seem to increase for the technology, and participants seemingly needing it to perform activities as to not miss out on tracking themselves. This addiction can also be the result of an addiction to earning badges, as one article pointed out, and how it's training its users like a Pavlovian dog to maintain their step counts and earn their badges as a result. It can also lead to the feeling of inadequacy when you're not fulfilling your step count, which is further enforced by it showing up on a smartwatch app for others to see. This can lead to individuals trying to cheat the app into reaching step goals to further feed their addiction, shifting the motivation of physical health to needing to keep their badge, streak, or step count up. As seen in the article, addiction to step goals can lead to some people cheating themselves and the app to reach their desired step goals, as seen here.
Oh my god, it's 11:30 and I haven't hit my 10,000 steps yet. What am I gonna do? Hold on, I got an idea. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll shake my hand. Oh, I know what I can do. Some arm circles. Wait, I have an idea. I can just bribe my friend to do some running for me. Hey Nick, here's 15 bucks. Thanks for hitting 10K for me, buddy.
I got you.
Look at that boy go.
As addiction and the unreliability of the smartwatches with some fitness aspects expressed in some students in one article, we found some research to back up these claims.
In an article by Gorzelitz, Farber, Gagnon, and Cadmus, they did a study with fitness trackers in moderate to vigorous physical activity. In the study, they used Fitbits, Garmin's, Apple products, but Fitbit was the most common. They found that all wearable trackers were valid for measuring moderate to vigorous physical activity, although that does not mean that they were accurate. They found that wrist-worn trackers seemed to overestimate the physical activity, and that the hip-worn trackers seemed to be more accurate and consistent. In the article by Lee, and Park, they did a study on wearables for swimmers and energy expenditure. They used only waterproof wearable fitness trackers, swimming-specific wearables that identified stroke type, swimming distance, stroke counts, and energy expenditure. All of these seemed to be measurable, although measuring energy expenditure was inaccurate that they found. Therefore, improvements are needed to the devices that they used. They found that the Apple Watch was more accurate in every single stat compared to the Garmin, although for energy expenditure, both Apple and Garmin were not accurate at all.
Within school settings and the BC Physical Health and Education website, there was very little mention on technology use with fitness. The K-9 PE curricula had no mention of technology at all, and in grade 11 and 12 physical education, technology is only mentioned through the usage of phones for emergency communication. Grade 10 had the most mention of the potential short and long-term consequences of health decisions, including those involving physical activity, sleep routines, and technology. It also mentioned for teachers to touch on the social influences of social media use, technology such as gaming, peer pressure, and how students can manage their technology. So overall, there's very little mention of technology within the BC PHE curriculum. An effective way to help students deal with addiction to smartwatches and fitness apps is to introduce them to the issue. As there wasn't much seen in the formal BC PhD curriculum, it would be up to the teachers to help their students navigate these new areas of technology. Here's a sample of what a teacher might say to help their student who may be developing an unhealthy addiction to reaching their step goals.
Oh, Mr. Lee, I didn't hit my 10K steps today. I only hit 5,000. Am I gonna fail this class?
Listen, my athletic Leanne, you'll be fine because just because one day you didn't hit 10,000 steps doesn't mean you'll fail this class.
Okay,
Not everyone can hit 10,000 steps daily due to everyone's different routines and daily lives. When you try to complete your 10,000 steps daily, it turns into an unhealthy obsession, addiction, and can turn into a bad habit. And that is unlikely and unhealthy for any individual like your age. For this reason, we should be addressing this in the PC PhD curriculum, and this should be addressed as a problem to many young adults since wearable devices are evolving quite fast. You'll be fine.